Hey everybody, Agent of Doubt here. Time for another ramble. I haven't checked in with you guys for a couple days, so I figured I'd let you all know that I'm not dead yet. So I've had a couple people message me with regards censorship on the internet in the past few days. Be it Alex Jones being deplatformed everywhere, to the Amazing Atheist losing his Twitter, or the Atheist Gamer was flagged by Candy Cow, who now blatantly makes videos where he's, saying that he's flagging the Atheist Gamer. All sorts of flagging going on. And the Atheist Gamer said, man, it's time to bring back the Weekly Flags recap. I brought it back once after killing it the first time, and I killed it the second time, and I gave very specific reasons why I did, but the most important one to me is that less people would be talking about these issues if there was a weekly show dedicated to these issues. People having a sort of program that happens that brings up all of these issues kind of steadily, like regularly, they get complacent. They're like, oh, this happens all the time, But what I've seen of people talking about Alex Jones being deplatformed is a lot of good discussion that wouldn't happen if there was a show dedicated to that, where people could just say, well, I don't have to talk about this because I know it'll be covered in the next Weekly Flags recap, And progressively, every week that I did that show, it got less and less viewers. It started with a couple thousand, and then just declined to barely a couple hundred, For all of the research that I had to do for that show, it just wasn't worth my time. I'd say each episode of that was 8 hours of work on my part for a almost 30-minute video, and most of it was just research into who was flagged, why they were flagged, what's the context of it, so that I could retell it. And it's just not worth the effort to me if it's going to have decreasing returns each and every week, because people, they just figure, oh, it's that flag show, we've seen one, we've seen them all, Even though I put the effort in to learn all of the different strange contexts of every situation, and there was some strangeness that popped up every week that was unique, people just kind of tuned it out. They felt happy that there was this show that somebody was putting the effort into, but they didn't want to watch it. And there are parallels I will draw as far as what people say they want and say they want to watch versus what they'll actually watch. How many times did you hear Thunderfoot get told, hey, could you stick to the science videos? I don't want to hear any of this SJW crap. I don't want to hear you talk about feminists. I want to see your science videos. That's when you were good. And then when he puts out the science videos, compare the view counts. Nobody's watching. Comparatively. All of those people who were griping, oh, where's the science videos? They should show up and watch the science videos if that's what they are saying that they want to watch, but they don't. People don't know what they actually want. That's why the subscriber tab, your subscriptions tab on YouTube, is kind of taking a backseat to the homepage, because the algorithm knows what you want to watch better than you do, and it will reward the types of things that you like watching by putting it on your home pages and suggesting it to you in the suggested videos. And you click on it. And you click and you click, right? Instead of using your subscriptions tab. Because the algorithm is chiefly concerned with keeping you on this platform of YouTube and keeping you from going other places. And whatever it is that you keep watching, that must be what you like. That must be what keeps you here. The subscriptions box oftentimes leads people away from the website. You know, people will say, check the description box and go to this link. And they'll have a call to action within their video. It could be to Patreon to go donate to them. It could be to some Indiegogo thing that they want people to go to. It could be a website that they're critiquing. It doesn't matter. If they leave the website, the algorithm doesn't favor that. You know, what it wants to give you is overproduced drivel that has call to actions that say, watch this other video from us at the end, you know, and keep you in this little time warp in your day where 2 hours later you're like, whoa, what the fuck am I doing with my time? I should get back to what I was doing. Anyways, yeah, not going to bring back the Weekly Flags recap. And I don't like talking about what I'm going to be doing in the future because there's so many channels on this platform that I used to like, that they'd come back after like a 6-month break from making videos and say, I'm coming back and I'm going to make this new series about this, this, and this. And then that's all you hear from them for the next like 2 years, you know. And then they never get around to doing what it was that they said. And I got tired of hearing people talk about what they're going to do. If you're going to do it, do it. You know, I've got a couple of videos in the works, a couple ideas that I'm still doing research on, and when I bring them out, I bring them out. You know, I don't want to overhype something and then, you know, not produce. There were a couple of projects that I had to abandon that I'll talk about. And that comes down to YouTube getting rid of the inbox, for one. All of the messages that I had contained in my inbox, there were some of them that I was saving in there, and I would have needed them in there to prove that this person said this by, you know, being able to reproduce that I can go into my inbox and take you right to it. And now that those messages have been erased, they're truncated in my email. You know, you only get like the first couple lines of it before it just cuts off in your email. There's no copies anywhere where I can show that this message actually happened the way that it did. And I've had a couple messages from people in the past that put them in a rather negative light, you know, and I wanted to make videos about some of their future undertakings and compare that to the past. And I've had to just shit can all of that. All of it. And some of it, I didn't even realize that I was losing it until it was gone, you know. I got a couple screen caps, but, you know, people can edit screen caps now and say, oh, this is what he said back in the day. Too bad, you know, the inbox is gone, so I can't prove it to you now. You know, I can't pull up a live stream and take you to my inbox and show you this. You're just going to have to take my word for it that I didn't doctor this picture of what I say they said. You know? So, that being the case, and the shifty people that we're dealing with here on YouTube sometimes, I had to shit can a couple projects that I had on the back burner. As well, I have had to shit can a project on Patreon, on Circle Jerks on Patreon. Not the particular Circle Jerk that I had pointed out before, where I connected that this person is giving to this person and this person's giving back, thereby negating each other's donation to each other, you know, in a zero-sum kind of way, except for Patreon's taking their cut out of both persons' money. But basically it inflates each other's numbers so that they look more popular, which then garners more donations from people, because the more popular you look and the more popular it looks for people to donate you, the more money you will get. It's kind of a snowball effect. It's a psychological ploy that these people were using. Anyway, Patreon has given people the ability to hide the amount of money that they're getting, and just display the number of patrons if they want, and also hide who they're giving money to and who's giving them money. You can private all of that and just have a Patreon account for people to give whatever they think is fair, you know. And I always hate fundraisers that do that, where there's no goal bar and there's no progress bar for you to see how close they are to that goal. I always hate fundraisers like that. Like, I really need some money. Please send some money to my PayPal. They could be already, getting enough money for their needs, and you're just giving more on top of that. And some people will say you shouldn't begrudge people making money that way, or you shouldn't worry about other people and the way that they spend money. But really, I feel like there's a lot of people who overshill here on this platform, and I wanted to bring light to it and really highlight some of the psychological ploys being used. But with Graphtreon being gimped on half of the people that I would have wanted to research, Patreon is basically helping people milk their audiences for more money, which, of course, that is Patreon's purpose, is to help artists get money from the people who are consuming their art. And if it's going to help more people consume the art and pay for it, then they're going to make little changes to how people use their interface. And YouTube really is like the last place that you can really see a down thumb. It's like all of the different social media networks are going towards never having a negative experience. Like, you don't see down thumbs on Facebook. You see like an array of different emotions that you can give, but never really like I don't like that you even posted this, emoticon. There's a I'm angry with you on this subject emoticon, but there really isn't like just an option for an anonymous no, go fuck yourself down thumb, right? YouTube is like the last place to even have that, and they got rid of the star system in favor of this thumb system because the 1 stars were really giving people a negative experience as content creators. And I think Patreon has given their creators that would have had people looking into their shit the option of hiding a lot of what they make, who's giving to them and whatnot, so that they don't get exposed, because that would be a negative experience for people on Patreon or hearing about Patreon. They want to keep everything positive experiences, and they don't want to have any negative press of the circle jerks that I was investigating. And yes, I did find other groups on Patreon that were giving back and forth to each other in big enough webs that you could pretty much tell that they were in cahoots just to make each other look bigger. And they might have been passing back and forth big sums of money to make each other look like they were more popular and worth more money for donations than they actually were, in order to trick more people into giving them more money. And I've had to shit can that entire investigation that I was doing on that. So, and the reason why is Patreon letting people hide certain figures and certain numbers and hide the who is giving to who. So, I'm not sponsored by Lime in any way, but one of the projects that I'll be working on in the future is driving around my city on a Lime bike. So, if you sign up for the Lime app with the link below, I'll get $3 and you get $3 worth of riding credit. So, if enough of you do this, then I'll have my entire filming paid for the day. So, if you want to help me out, forget all those other things that people pimp on their channels. Just download the Lime app and use the code, and then both of us get $3 riding credit. And when I collect enough of them, then, I'll have a couple hours of writing time in order to shoot some video while I'm writing. Alright, I gotta go.